And we're a week away. A week from today on the 25th, we start the NFL draft, and we're rolling towards that. John, we got some hot headlines to talk about.
Okay, here we go. NFL draft. Now we're talking Rams and Chargers.
Yeah, let's start first of all with the Rams. For the first time in a long time, they have a number one draft pick. The Rams have brought in a ton of pass rushers led by Dallas Turner from Alabama, and they've just met with a guy that I think they might take, Leatu Latu, pass rusher excellence, UCLA. They've met with him. Buffalo just met with him. If he's on the board, he might be the guy. Now, the Rams are scrambling because they've got to retrofit their defensive front because of the surprise retirement of Pro Bowl defensive tackle Aaron Donald. But the UCLA pass rusher might be the name. I think he'll be there when the Rams draft as they get to inside the top 20 picks. Busy 24 hours for the Chargers. They have just signed J.K. Dobbins of the Baltimore Ravens. He's a third down specialist. He's kind of the heir apparent to Austin Eckler. He will be the counterbalance to the big heavy-duty running back, Gus Edwards, that they signed. Robbins he's had a flashy career when he's been able to stay healthy. But coming out of Ohio State, he had a catastrophic knee injury, got healthy, had a good season, ruptured his Achilles first game a year ago, missed all of last season. They think if they can keep him on the field, he'll be in the pass-catching game what Eckler was coming out of the backfield. We all know that the Chargers are wafer thin at the wide receiver spot. They have brought in Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the ex-Packer and Kansas City Chief receiver. They may offer him a contract before the draft. He would be the veteran that's in the mix of all the young wide receivers they have. What are they doing beyond the first round of the pick? First of all, they brought in 5 offensive tackles to look at in the interview process in the last couple of weeks, led by the big offensive tackle from Notre Dame, Joe Alt, who will be there at 5. Fianu, the big Penn State offensive tackle. Latham, a developing offensive tackle from Alabama. And one big offensive tackle guard from Oregon State. They've also brought in Marvin Harrison from Ohio State, Malik Neighbors from LSU, if they elect to go wide receiver at number 5. Also, looking towards the second round, they just met yesterday with this massive defensive tackle who played for Jim Harbaugh. Chris Jenkins, okay. University of Michigan. In fact, there's a feeling that if Harbaugh has his way, they may draft a number of Wolverines once they get beyond the first round. So that's where the Chargers are right now. And, of course, there's also the option at 5, if they don't get the best pick they want, they go trade back and stockpile a couple of other picks, trade a little bit later. It's a little too early at this hour to say what they're going to do. If I were King and they were going to run the football, I'd draft one of those offensive tackles. But you sitting in the other street corner might be yelling, wide receiver, wide receiver. So, John, your thoughts on the Rams and your thoughts on the Bolts?
Well, first of all, it's incredible the Rams have gone so long without a first-round pick, so but the Chargers, I mean, you just wonder how they're going to screw this thing up again. But they have the number 5 pick, and they're likely going to take a non-quarterback, assuming they stay at 5. Who do you think is the best non-quarterback in this draft?
For their need.
For their need. Is it so it's Alt from Notre Dame? Or?
That's my perception, yes.
Okay.
Because if you can't protect Justin Herbert and you can't run the football because you don't have enough linemen, then what's the use of getting Marvin Harrison or Neighbors from LSU to throw to if you can't protect the quarterback and you can't run the bloody football?
Yeah.
I think you can go find speed receivers and you develop them in the second or third round. So if I were King, I'd take, but of course I'm conservative. I wear white shirts and striped ties and you wear whatever you wear. If I were King, I would take one of those tackles. Everybody tells me Alt is better than the kid at Penn State and the kid at Oregon State. The kid from Alabama is an unbelievable skill guy, but he takes a lot of penalties. So that's where we are as of this hour. And again, Joe Ortiz is the one that's making the decision. Does he stay at 5 with Harbaugh and take what I think they should take? Or does it go from 5 to 10, let somebody else jump in and then pick up the 10th pick in the first round and then maybe something in the second round, which will give him more cachet. So that's where we are at this hour.
That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, since everyone's scrambling to get these quarterbacks, and there's like maybe as many as 7 of them that look really good. So that might be the play for the Chargers, just to trade back. And if not 10, maybe 9 or 8, and maybe they can still get Alt.
We'll talk more about it as we go towards Monday. We're going to start zeroing in specifics on the draft. Let's talk from